Folks, this has gone Spy. The Spy will come to you live for Star Wars Knights for Republic, the Sith Lords. Now, for the last episode, there wasn't really much to do but to be able to do some R&R, taking a break from having to save Tatooine from the mercenaries led by an ex-Sith trooper, School, and learning some gruesome details what Farouk has mentioned about why the Jedi had scattered in the galaxy and way and what's been going on. So, but all than that, we still don't know if there's a way to be able to sever the connection of the force bond between me and Kreia. So right now, we're going to move on to the next planet, which is Nar Shaddaa, and according to the database, a Jedi Master named says Kyle should be on Nar Shaddaa. So we're going to make a stop there. Nar Shaddaa is going to be something of a new territory, even for me, because I don't believe I've ever been to that planet before. But I do know that it's probably going to be the reason of a source to where mercenaries, bounty hunters, and HK-50s have been coming from. This employer that sent the first HK-50 after me boarded the Harbinger and at Pragus could be on this planet, but we're not here to do some hunting of the employer. But if we happen to rent him, I will not complain about it. We're only going to that planet because a Jedi Master named says Kyle would be there. Hopefully he's still alive. So right now, let us move there. Fuck. Stupid piece of...
Big Maw of Nar Shaddaa, swallowing all the cargo and spaceport thugs the galaxy has to offer.
So sorry.
Mandalorians, mercenaries, war veterans, and pilots from the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War ended up on Nar Shaddaa.
Is
From all sides
that so?
When the last war ended, there was no place left for them to go. Nar Shaddaa's a rough place and easy to get lost in. Or for someone to get lost. If you wanted to keep out of sight from the Sith for a while, you couldn't pick a better spot.
You seem to know a great deal about this territory we're going to add in, but what exactly is a Nar Shaddaa?
It means glorious jewel in Huttese, but don't let that fool you. It's the central breeding grounds of the Hutts. Nar Shaddaa orbits it. Nar Shaddaa's as slimy as the Hutts. Lots of swamp and bloated gas. It's where those slugs reach out and grab chunks of the galaxy. Trust me, we're not going to go anywhere near the place unless we want to be washing the stink out of our clothes for the next few years.
What's a refugee sector?
Not everyone who came to Nar Shaddaa were soldiers. A lot of worlds were destroyed by the Mandalorians and the Jedi. Left a lot
Dark
of people
Jedi, you
wandering
mean?
the galaxy.
You seem to know a great deal about this planet we're going to. Almost sound like you've been there before. What's the story?
Anyone flying the Star Lanes has docked on Nar Shaddaa at least once. I wouldn't want to live there, and I doubt anyone does by choice.
So there's a lot of ex-soldiers from both the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War coming to Nar Shaddaa?
Yeah, some came looking for work running freight and cargo. Still, there's only so many ships to go around and so many workers, so others lend their weapons to the Hutts in the exchange. It's become a prime base for raider recruitment across the galaxy.
Doesn't sound like much of a big deal. I mean, how hard it could be to be able to find a Jedi here?
It won't be easy. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa. Finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in. Or find you once you arrive.
So how exactly can it be this hard to be able to hide here?
Shouldn't be too hard. There's There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa, finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in, or find you once you arrive.
Then let's take the Evan Hog and for a landing site.
I've plotted a course for the refugee sector, and we should touch down within the hour. Once we're down, we should finally be able to breathe easy. There's no way anyone's going to find us here.
Oh, I really hate that you're going to say it like that. Do not jinx us, and if somebody accidentally jinxes us and say something like that, something really bad happens. Interesting. Huh. Who's this? Sorry, group?
Perhaps you have heard that the Jedi comes
I freaking called it!
while he walks upon the smuggler's moon. He is not to be harmed. You may watch him, observe his movements, but nothing more.
Wait, a Wookiee is a bad guy in this story?
But because one Jedi attracts others, it is the way of things.
Mamabe want to susitu karata. To aspecto natada de mabarjotto. To renibo inturata sisi naturokra.
Bani sukokran, joka mata storch ban locha. Joana masaranka ma ramazurita. Keso juskrita lorsa. Yu macha fuego mikojira.
Loka kamaran endoso ranwi no chabi. Tu rantamana solu. Venko emariam da watasitu insula rakarakachata. Tamaso kinchuda waka. Lopito na wana si chokoratawa.
He has been collecting life debts before?
Request. If Goto's vessel is no longer neutral ground, inform us so that we might initiate assassination protocols and commence firing at once.
The hukubo tenyo go yucho picha. When tabani sochu. Norotoga poto nala shishi. Ila deso jigacha. Rotap monsan. Do kosha na chitoni. Joana masaranka ma ramazurita. Keso juskrita lorsa. Yu macha fuego mikojira. Kawana bota atagwa kankadiwa. Yutaka alonji umaliba. Yues mahavika si wawanta mo go ika unsoba. Wakama nurawa.
Observation. Jedi follow the self-destructive path of pacifism and tolerance. They will not attack first.
Honto nosa. Jita bedwana matucha. Doveri nincha. Yonona shitasa chuch. Si machadana. Dona researcha makaran.
Okay. Somehow these people knew not just us being here or our identity, but also who the people we travel with. Who are these guys?
The beautiful stench and decay of desperate living.
This moon, it teems with life. It is difficult to center oneself. Never have I been to a place so alive with the Force. It's so dead to it. Contrast is like a blade.
Word of warning, watch where you step. You'll fall for hours.
So, are we going to be okay on this land spot or to be able to land here?
Sure, most of the landing pads around here are unclaimed. Or should be. They're pretty badly maintained, so they're not safe to land on. Well, I mean, not this one. But they all have the reputation, so we should be alright.
Should.
I think.
Oh, you think? Is there any problems with the docking authorities, though? Have they been alerted to that we're going to land here?
No, but I forgot to tell them we were landing. The refugee section's a dead zone. No one cares too much who flies in and out of here as long as they're not carrying cargo that the exchange or the Hutts might want a piece of.
The Evan Hog looks a little bit exposed from the way it's looking.
Maybe a little, but landing here means we didn't have to transmit our ID signature. You know what trouble that always brings. In fact, while we're here, we should get those signatures changed. Wouldn't make us such a target when we enter a new system.
So, are we going... So, is this the refugee sector? It doesn't look like we're surrounded by civilians or refugees or anything.
Yeah, in all its glory. Don't get your hopes up from what you see here, though. As soon as we hit the main sector, that's when the smell and the mobs can get pretty bad.
Okay, if that's all we need to get things out of the way, then let's move. But we need to be discreet, but most importantly, keep it down and quiet, and to not attract too much attention to ourselves.
Alright then, let's move out. Where are we headed exactly?
It does not matter where we go. If what we seek is here, we shall come upon it in due time.
Yeah, if you want to stay on the ship and meditate some more, don't let us stop you.
We're going to begin not only new equipment here since we're almost out of it, plus we need to be able to lay low until I be able to figure some things out of our journey. Plus I want to know more about this bounty that how it got started with the Jedi on hunting them in the first place. And if this Kaios here, I need to find him.
Finding a Jedi or anyone else touched by the Force here will be difficult. The mass of people, the rush of their emotions, it makes detection difficult.
The moon is a swarming cloak, a shadow of emotions. It is an effective shield, but if we come near the Jedi, I may be able to see him.
You will not come near the Jedi. I will not allow it.
You mistake my intentions. I care nothing for this Jedi. But if finding him will speed our journey, then I will aid you in your search.
We do not need your assistance, Dark Jedi.
Enough. This moon does not get any smaller while we debate. This sector is as good as any place to begin our search, so let us begin.
Well, if we're going to search a moon of a few billion inhabitants for one Jedi that even our own can't sense, might as well start as soon as possible.
Indeed. And also, one thing to get out of the way. Handmaid, Thesis. I get the fact that both our philosophies and backgrounds got too much history with the two of you, but you need to work together to get grip on this if we're going to be able to survive longer, especially in a place like this. And another thing, we need to make sure that we need to get some new equipment.
There should be a central trading hub up ahead. Their stock's probably not the best, but they may have some things worthwhile.
I need to find more about this bounty on how it got started with the Jedi.
Well, that means finding either a bounty hunter, a ranking member of the Exchange, or someone willing to talk, none of which are too appealing. Bounty hunters in the Exchange are going to want to shoot you, and someone who is willing to talk to anyone, which means trouble.
The bounty is a waste of our efforts. All that matters is the Jedi. The intentions of the thugs of this moon are of no consequence.
This bounty poses a threat to him. We do not need two beasts at our back when the Sith are enough.
I agree. They're nothing more than a distraction. But even a distraction may prove fatal at a critical moment. We must protect him.
I do not wish your support, Dark Jedi. Your words only undermine my arguments.
If you are so certain of your path, then do what you will, servant of Atris. It makes no difference.
It's up to you. There's bound to be someone in the sector willing to spill their guts for a credit or two.
Look, that is enough, you three, alright? We don't know exactly what we're dealing with here, which is why we're going to be here not only to find Sis Kyle here, but to find a place to lay low, at least until we be able to get some good surroundings about this place or the refugee sector, or any place to be able to get some medical supplies or some new equipment. And we all going to need to work together on this. We need to be able to support each other and to be able to make sure that we don't get lost in a crowd like this. We're way too exposed as we already are, since Anne didn't even bother to tell the docking authorities that we were going to land. And so I'm probably sure that we're going to be having some problems if they're going to get here, since we came here unannounced.
And just being here should be enough. People in the refugee sector don't tend to ask too many questions. We We should be safe enough.
Alright. Now, let us see where this path takes us. And most importantly, and like I will repeat this before, let's be discreet and try not to get too much attention to ourselves.
Alright, if you have any questions, just ask. We should be able to leave the ship here as long as we want. No one supervises these landing pads anymore.
You there!
What the?
What's with you? Letting that piece of junk sink its struts into my landing pad!
Okay, you must be the docking authorities. Is there some kind of problem, docking officer?
The problem is, you are on my landing pad. I got another ship coming in, and unless you want that piece of junk's hull crushed flat, you better move it. Got it?
Wait a minute, what other ship?
That's none of your business. All you need to know is that they're gonna be firing up their quad lasers if they find your ship squatting there when they arrive.
Look, I can pay you for the space and your time if you just allow me to give me time, and I'll be able to pay for having this ship to be on the landing pad. I'm sorry that my friend couldn't be able to talk to you about land on this pad unannounced.
Yeah, right now all I'm hearing is talk. How much you offering?
How about 50 credits? That ought to be enough.
Done. Pleasure doing business with you. I got some visitors booked for your space, but I'm sure the two of you can work it out when they arrive.
I'm sure. Alright. Alright. Started with the search. Looks like we got some thugs that wants to pick on people.
No! Look, you can't keep us trapped in the refugee sector. We can't survive there. You've got us locked in.
A couple of cowards who doesn't have the stomach to pick on a real man. Now, what is going on here? I will not let you hurt this man. Stand away from him.
Thanks for your help. They would have crippled me for sure.
I couldn't stand by and let them hurt you. Why are these two thugs hunting you?
Well, they work for the exchange. for a Quarren named Visquis. He's looking to step up in the exchange. The only language the exchange respects is money, so Visquis is trying to increase his profits by using the refugees here in Nar Shaddaa as a cheap labor force. We're only good to him as slaves and merchandise. He wants to keep us in one place, so he can control us. That's always been the way. Well, except lately.
What do you mean by that?
The exchange has been clamping down on the refugee sector hard, and I've no idea why. They started kidnapping people, hurting others, but there seems to be no reason to it.
Then why can I find Visquis and stop this madness?
You don't. He comes to you, if he's got reason to. Either because you can help him out, or because you're making trouble. Either way, it's not a good thing.
I was glad to be able to help out. You better head out before you run into any more of those thugs.
Whatever your reasons, thanks.
Spare a few credits, friend?
Of course. Here, take some 5 credits, buy something in to eat, and some clothes.
Much appreciated, friend. Life's hard in the refugee sector, and this should go a long way to helping.
I'd like some information, if you don't mind.
Alright. I don't know much beyond the refugee sector here, but I can share what I know.
I'll be the judge of that. Tell me what you know about the refugee sector.
This sector's filled with refugees from the Jedi Civil War, and even as far back as the Mandalorian Wars, refugees and war veterans both, and anyone else who was rendered homeless by the war. The Jedi destroyed planets across the galaxy, and here's where the wreckage ended up.
But the Jedi didn't do this? The Sith did, not the Jedi Order?
That's 2 names for one thing. It's difficult to tell in the crossfire, and the Sith were led by Jedi. In the end, it didn't make much difference.
Why are the refugees here?
A lot of space lanes cross at Nar Shaddaa, and once here, it's hard to move on. Even fighter pilots from the war can't get work at the docks. The freighter crews are full up. There's no work here and no way out, unless you want to become a hired muscle for the exchange, or work in a Hutt slave camp.
I'm looking for a Jedi Master by the name of Sis Kyle. Have you seen him?
Jedi Master? There aren't any Jedi Masters in the galaxy, let alone on Nar Shaddaa. This place is a cesspit, with the exchange and the Hutts stabbing their claws into everything. But you know, I did hear something about a bounty on Jedi though. Something the exchange posted. Doesn't matter though. Aren't any more Jedi around, so no one's going to be collecting that bounty.
I'm asking because I am a Jedi.
You're lying, or mad. The Jedi wouldn't come to the... You're serious? You're telling the truth. What are you doing here? Are you trying to get us out of this place? Please, you have no idea what life is like here.
I'm getting the picture of it. If I can, I'll be able to help you and everyone else however I can.
Of course. Of course. Tell me, what else did you want to know, Jedi?
I need you to tell me more about the place that you call home. What is this about this bounty on the Jedi? How long has it been going on? Is there a way to remove it?
Not much to say, except it's a high price. You need to find a bounty hunter to get more, and they've been pretty scarce lately. You might have more luck trying to find someone connected to the exchange. And I don't mean some spaceport muscle, I mean someone connected.
Any idea why the exchange would have posted a bounty on a Jedi?
No idea. Could be one of them crossed the exchange, and they're looking for revenge on all of them.
Is there anyone that is connected to the exchange I could find and talk to?
Well, they tend to lay low. To be honest, it's like with bounty hunters. You may need to do something to get their attention.
Tell me more about the refugee sector.
This sector's filled with refugees from the Jedi Civil War, and even as far back as the Mandalorian Wars, refugees and war veterans both, and anyone else who was rendered homeless by the war. The Jedi destroyed planets across the galaxy, and here's where the wreckage ended up.
But the Jedi didn't do this? The Sith did?
That's 2 names for one thing.
I'm had to be going now. Thank you for the information, good sir.
Look, Jedi, before you go, I know you probably didn't come here to save us, but I knew Jedi during the war, and I know that they always helped when they could. If I can help you, even just by keeping an ear out, I can let you know if I hear anything.
That would be good. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, good man.
I'll do that then. I'll come seek you out if I hear anything I think you might want to know.
Thank you.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need?
Of course. Here, take some 5 credits.
Thank you, stranger. I won't forget your kindness.
Why did you do such a thing? Such kindnesses will mean nothing. His path is set. Giving him what he has not earned is like pouring sand into his hands.
Look, nothing is set. As long as there is hope, there is the chance for redemption every day.
And would that be a kindness? What if by surviving another day he brings a greater darkness upon another?
What do you mean? And what if he doesn't?
The force binds all things. The slightest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. Even an act of kindness may have more severe repercussions than you know or conceive. By giving him something he has not earned, perhaps all you have helped him become is a target. Seeing another elevated often brings the eyes of others who suffer. And perhaps in the end, all you have wrought is more pain. And that is my lesson to you. Be careful of charity and kindness, lest you do more harm with open hands than with a clenched fist.
I see. I'll consider what you have said.
Good. Mind what I have said. Use your power, but in its proper place.
Alright, let's go see Ned, the docking authorities, is in the Swift Garage.
And what did he want?
Who's this?
Just answers to some questions.
It's okay. I already know he's a Jedi.
You do? Then why?
And trust me, Nar Shaddaa just got complicated.
She's gone. Who's that? Could be a bounty hunter. These bounty hunters is like a council of sorts. And I think this is just the beginning of the bad news. Alright, I'm going to need to put a stop here after these messages, folks. So this has gone Spy. The Spy sign off for now.